Okay, that is cute. Yeah, just give me a few minutes. Just gonna grab the link to the stream. No witty title this time.
Because we have no idea what we're in for this time.
Yeah.
Yep, just new jobs.
Okay. Muting tab. Opening this up. Alrighty. Hello, everyone. My gosh, it's been a hot minute. Welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. Sorry for the slight delay between streams. It's just one of our co-hosts, the always fearsome Linkzilla, got himself a new job, therefore new schedule.
So yeah, and basically it's going to be a bit sporadic for a little while.
Yeah, so yeah. So due to that, as soon as we find a day that all of our schedules seem to coincide, that's when we'll stream this until we officially are done. Well, pretty much all the jobs in PowerWash Simulator. I'm not going to do free play, and I'm not going to do challenge mode. Just going to stick with the jobs, just to keep things short, sweet, and simple. Especially with the fact that sometime soon, we're going to be cleaning up various vehicles and locales in the upcoming Back to the Future DLC. And then, of course, sometime in the near future, it's the Warhammer 40k DLC, of which I am going to try to get Gad in here since he's the Warhammer and related expert.
Right. So, when we last left off, there was a whole lot of craziness going where we basically managed to uncover and clean up the lost civilization of Pacific Atlantis, whatever. So, and somehow or another, that stopped Mount Rushless from going off. Except it ended on a rather anticlimactic note because right when we got to the ending, LT's game crashed. So now,
which was rough on both me and my wonderful cleaner in crime, the eccentric Mr. Chaos.
Indeed it was. Especially since I could only see half the stuff. Though I am glad that I identified way ahead of time what was going to be the last item we had to clean.
Yep. Yes. So now we are going to be starting up on the new update, but first we need to clean one specific bonus job. And that's the satellite dish. Well, actually, these are all the new jobs anyway, I think. But let's first start cleaning the satellite dish. Okay. From Debo Chubb. How you doing, Doc? I'm a friend of Cal's. He gave me your deeds, says you do a great job, and I've been asked on behalf of my client to get a power washer down to the county observatory to help clean up. It had a quiet reopening a few months back, but looks like whoever it is that put the catch ain't too happy with the results they've been getting, hence getting you in. I don't care. Don't ask me who it is or what's going on. I have no clue. I'm just a caretaker. Suspicious. Let's begin, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
Starting this job while we're setting progress on the other jobs? Huh? Okay. Weird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did all the other bonus jobs.
Nah, we only did a couple. Anyways, whoo! Boy, the gaming news is out of whack over the last little while since, well, the last job and now this job.
Yeah, they have weird timing for these things, don't they?
Yep, plenty to talk about. Ooh, good golly, Miss Molly, that's a big satellite dish. Anyways, let's get this unlocked. Wait for the invite friend button, because we've had 2 directs over the course of a week, basically. One that was just to show the gameplay of the upcoming Super Mario Wonder game that's coming out, which is in the same
wonderfully silly time.
Yeah, and then of course we learned that Charles Martinet is no longer going to be voicing Mario, but instead is going to be the ambassador for Mario, which is good on him. And now we got a whole bunch of announcements involving remakes, remasters, including one that, once again, oh, hey Devo, guess you had a lot of theories behind all the mad stuff that's been happening right now. Not as much anymore, since we all know the details. Seriously, it feels like wherever I talk to him, I'm only ever 3 go-ons away from hearing something completely insane.
No, 3 go-ons.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, and of course, once again, the Nintendo broke the internet again because they announced the remake of Paper Mario, The Thousand-Year Door, which is the second game in the Paper Mario series that came out on the GameCube.
I would squee about that, but I don't want to break my voice box.
No, he seriously was squeeing after Direct was over. They picked the perfect time to announce that right at the end.
Oh yeah, and like any good fan of a classic game, the moment I heard that opening jingle, I knew which game it was. I tried to temper myself in disbelief, but the signs only got stronger until it was undeniable.
Yep. And hey, you're not the only one. A lot of Thousand-Year Door fans have been going nuts all over Twitter.
All from the initial thing of the book and the music.
Yeah, I didn't go as crazy.
That doesn't tell you the game is iconic for its fans. I don't know what will.
Yeah. Of course, I wasn't that excited because I never played the game before, but I do recall us watching a Let's Play that Chugga made of the game.
Yep, never actually played the game myself. Let's see, is that the one with that guy with the white cloak and everything, and he is the female assistant?
No. That's Super Paper Mario that came out on the Wii.
Ah.
Yeah.
This is the one with the computer.
Ah.
Yeah. This is the... Yeah, style-wise, it's definitely a lot... It definitely delves more into the fantasy aspect, but not just the, fantastical fantasy, but also little bits of, sci-fi as well, with the primary enemy faction, although not fought in every chapter, the X-Nauts.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Of course, the first major boss you go up against is a giant dragon. There's one of 3. And one of them is a lich.
So yeah, another game we got more details about is the new Princess Peach game.
There's going to be a new Princess Peach game.
Yep. I think it's called Super Princess Peach Showtime or something.
Princess Peach and Showtime definitely there. Whether Super is in there, I am uncertain.
Yeah.
But instead of getting powers based off her emotions, instead Peach decides to become an actor in order to save a theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I take it that the Vibe Scepter isn't making a comeback.
Nope, not this time.
It's not.
Instead, she gets a new friend who equips her with a new hair ribbon that allows her to change her costume and gain new abilities. Like, for example, there's one where she becomes a swordsman, another one where she becomes a kung fu master, another one where she becomes a pastry chef.
One where she becomes a detective and solves crimes.
Yep. And it all started when one of the Toads noticed a flyer for a theater and they decided to have the day out. only for some grape-themed set of criminals to pretty much take the whole show and make it their own thing.
I would laugh if Mario shows up in the finale and is like kidnapped again, because that'd be funny. Because I think that usually what happens whenever it's like the platformer and but like it's a grand adventure with one of the Mario specific friends that usually show up with him when it's one of his normal adventures. Like with Luigi and Mario, for example. Or the last Princess Peach game where Bowser was like, okay, you know what, gang, new strategy. First, we cap Mario and Luigi, then we worry about Princess Peach afterwards. After this victory party! And then Bowser gets beaten up by the vibes after.
Yeah.
He failed the vibe check.
So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that game because it looks both cute and cool at the same time. It definitely brings out more of those strong magical girl vibes that everyone says Princess Peach has.
Me, I think I'm just basically content at the idea that she's taking on different roles, literally. Like, she's basically, like, doing these performances, because it's like, it's kind of like what I feel about the Muppet movies. I didn't necessarily grow up with the Muppets. I didn't really watch the Muppet Show when I was a kid, but I was aware of who the Muppets were. My introduction to them were when they did movies like The Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island. I think that they actually thrive in adaptations like that. They're such well-known characters, but in this context, the characters themselves are actors playing these famous roles, and I think that that's just hilarious. I mean, Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit or Captain Smollett from Treasure Island. It just rings off the tongue so well. So it's like, now you basically have Princess Peach, basically like, she could pretty much now play any sort of character. She could go into the jungle like some kind of explorer or something.
Yeah, also, sorry to interrupt you, but if you guys are hearing some strange noises on my end, my window is open, and there's a, like, truck, like, moving stuff outside.
Oh, I thought that was the demon's voice.
No, it's a truck.
Ah.
So, yeah. Let's see. And there's a couple of League of Legends story games coming out. One that's like a cute little strategy adventure, and at least I think it's a strategy adventure. I can't remember. And the other one being a 3D platformer type thing. Both with cute characters and of their own stories.
Yep. What I gotta say, like, is kind of funny. When a game that is, like a MOBA just expands into the other categories, which I guess makes sense, considering that League of Legends has so much lore in it that it would have been criminal to not try to ever take advantage of it for another type of game. Which also reminds me how there's actually a gacha game that decided to become a fighting game, which I find also hilarious, because usually it's the other way around.
Yep. Let's see here. And we've also got a few more details on the next Splatoon 3 DLC, which was what they started off with. Bringing in character... Yeah, side order. Which brings in a vibe that was once started in the Octo expansion of Splatoon 2. And a character that was once name-dropped in it, but was not given too much details for. Octa, or however you pronounce it, since it actually means 8 in German, aka DJ Deadfish. Who they said was the one behind all the music that was playing around in Octo expansion. She's the result of something called sanitization. So she'll look a little different from your average Inkling or Octoling. which is basically a way of brainwashing.
Ew.
Thankfully for her, it wasn't a full brainwashing. She still was able to keep her creativity, though. And apparently, she is paramount in helping out Pearl and Agent 8 in this story, which seems to involve Marina from Off the Hook. Not too much more detail, not much more detail than that, but that's what I'm getting from all the trailers and everything. So this is basically what I'm saying, that it seems to feel like a continuation of the story from Octo Expansion.
Me, I'm just basically surprised that the Splatoon games even have story to begin with.
It's not like super complicated, but there's a bit of story there. Oh, hang on, Devo's messaging me. For example, we got this.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, we got this Sparky in to do the rewiring Gary. Okay. Should be a stand-up guy, right? I mean, he's rewiring an incredibly complex piece of equipment. So that tells me he doesn't show up to work. If there's one person you expect to hear sense from, it's him. Okay.
Well, maybe he just needs to change his mind.
He looks up to the sky and says, "Weird weather we're having, huh?" I nod and say, "Go on, Gary." Okay. Anyways, as you were saying, Chaos, before Devo interrupted?
Wait, that's
I was just saying that I'm looking forward to the inevitable crossover between Splatoon and Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, God.
Ceremophobus, aka you're a kid now, you're a squid now.
I get it. Because if anyone's playing Baldur's Gate 3, they'll get the joke.
If they know, they're just gonna wait a few days, then they'll get the joke.
Mm-hmm.
That should be when the process ends, anyway.
Anyways, and of course there was like a few other things that was announced, like a bit more details on the new WarioWare game.
Oh, there's another WarioWare coming out, huh?
Yep.
Wario goes on vacation, is upset that he has to bring all of his friends.
So let me guess. He actually goes to Isle Delfino, except he's the one who actually does cause all the graffiti and pollution.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
It really would.
Yeah. And apparently they're definitely
his friend, and you don't realize that till the very end. His friends are just trying to get him cleared, and it's only at the very end that he revealed that, yeah, I actually did do it, guys.
I wouldn't put it past Wario. Anyway.
Maybe that actually would be hilarious. Maybe the Piantas learned their lesson from 20 years ago when they falsely accused Mario, so they're not really all that confident into basically doling out judgment on Wario, thinking that it might just be another mistake. But it turns out he actually did do it.
Yeah. Anyways.
The golden sight. Sprite, I'll make millions of dollars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and speaking of Mario games and remakes, the first Mario vs. Donkey Kong game is getting a remake too.
Is that the one where they're in that toy theme park?
That was the second game. This is the first game where the whole mess started, where Donkey Kong steals the mini Marios.
And then Mario had to go save his mini selves.
Yeah, and...
So, because the damn Kong just can't afford to buy one.
That or he... Well, no, it's not because Donkey Kong couldn't afford to buy one. He was too impatient because the stores were sold out.
Ooh.
That's what happened.
Oh boy.
I find this whole concept really, really weird. The idea that basically, like, they pretty much, like, retooled Mario and Donkey Kong's relationship, and they're basically putting Donkey Kong in a quasi-villainous role. He doesn't necessarily mean any harm, it's just he's not exactly, I think that basically, like, he's kind of basically acting out of brash impulses and sort of has to be reined in. That's such a fascinating departure, considering where their relationship actually began, with basically Donkey Kong kidnapping Mario's girlfriend, and Mario basically having to rescue her.
Yep.
Oh, because Mario was apparently a abusive monkey owner.
Yeah, but that mostly came in the sequel, unless you count the Game & Watch games. But who counts the Game & Watch games anyway?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because I used to play that game a few times. Huh. Well, these are interesting. Alien signs.
I guess basically like, they were, maybe all the hipsters were out here basically like saying, take me with you and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, and there was like a few new titles that was announced as well. Let's see if I can remember a few. I have to pull up my... Hang on, I got an easy, quick way of doing that. Let's see. Because as the thing went on, Nintendo pretty much put up a lot of their trailers on their YouTube. Let's see. Oh yeah, another thing that got announced. Among Us, after like, I don't know, years or so, finally is getting a new map for everyone to do jobs on and kill as imposters.
So
welcome to the fungal.
So Among Us is back.
Yep. Yeah, they haven't had a new map ever since they announced the airship, which was a huge reference to Interslot's previous popular series, the Henry Stickmin series.
Well, personally I'm glad, and I hope that basically like this new map basically causes like a boom in interest in Among Us online again, because I don't know why, but I feel like basically because Among Us being such a simple concept for a game, because it took off like so quickly and was so popular, it feels kind of wholesome in a lot of ways, because I feel like during the time that it got so big, we were all kind of locked down, we couldn't really go out and see other people, and Among Us was basically a way to pretty much get together with your friends and do something fun.
Oh yeah, and the thing, it was like already online 2 years prior to that.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden lockdown happened, and then BAM! They're like,
the ultimate irony.
Yeah, where did all this happen? When did all this happen?
They were working on a sequel when that game decided to finally kick off.
Yeah, and then of course they also did. Oh, and they also did a VR version too.
Yeah. So I guess basically like my point is that like ever since then, Among Us has basically been like on a decline in popularity, and I don't know,
yeah,
for some reason I found that kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean the last update that they did for this game was that they expanded the color roster. Yeah, but now they're introducing the Fungal, an island of fungi that the ship had crash landed on because somehow mushroom spores got into the engines and pretty much destroyed the ship.
Well, sounds like an entertaining place.
There we go. Yeah.
So now there's a fungus among us.
Yep. So, which is nice. I mean, like I said, they haven't had new maps since the airship, so this will be a nice change of pace. And of course, guaranteed, there's going to be probably new hats to put on. And new pets. All I could say is that a lot of the Among Us tubers that played the game a lot back then is going to have a lot more fun now. And apparently, it's going to be coming out in October, though.
Man, everything is happening in October. And I cannot help but look at the calendar and see that we're already halfway to October.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Oh, and also we got a word on what the last part of the booster pass for Mario Kart is.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too. The fact that they're no longer going to update that game.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, it's had a good run, and it's got a lot of great tracks. They've included some new characters, which is Diddy Kong and Funky Kong, Paulina, and Peachette.
Peachette, that's Toadette with a crown, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. It's still funny considering how that the internet took to storm a alternative to the Peachette thing.
We got a Devo message.
Yeah. So Gary goes on, of course. I'm expecting her to say something interesting about atmospherics, like the volcano is affecting our local weather system. He says, yeah, you notice that we're getting more clouds than normal? I nod again and say, go on, Gary.
Gary says, aliens.
Seriously? Why you cut off there at the good part?
Ah, dang it. Anyway, Chaos, go on with what you were saying about the Super Crown.
Yeah. Well, mainly just like people popularized it, but Bowser using it instead, becoming something they call Bowsette.
Yeah, I know. That was hilarious. I mean, I gotta admit, like, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at such a ridiculous concept. And it's like, I don't know, like, the fact that basically it took off and got so insane was, like, mind-boggling to me. But you want to know something weird? Like, something else that basically happened in relationship to that? Because, like, you guys know about, like, Super Mario Maker, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm pretty sure that, like, sometime, like, after the whole Bowsette thing was, like, running out of steam, at some point, didn't Super Mario Maker, like, introduce a sword from Zelda that would actually transform Mario into Link for the level?
I
probably
think so.
I remember seeing that, and I immediately assumed that this was actually going to start a trend with all sorts of characters grabbing the sword and transforming into Link. Heck, I actually planned to do something like that on my DA page, with me pointing out the fact that everybody is, like, transforming into Link, and then Peach basically, like, coming in and saying, "First time, huh? Not so funny now, is it?" And that's why I bring it up, because I'm kind of disappointed that that didn't happen. It honestly would have been hilarious. I mean, can you imagine, like, a Link wearing overalls and a red cap, having a bulbous nose and a mustache, basically being a Mario-ized Link? That would be hilarious.
I know.
Then we could get Donkey Kong Link, we could get Bowser Link. We could just do the entire Smash Bros. Roster.
Yeah. That does remind me how,
But it didn't happen.
I suppose I shouldn't spoil 100%, but, in terms of, new releases that have happened recently, Mortal Kombat, 1, not 11, 1.
Yeah, that's weird.
Come out. Yeah, especially doesn't help when I try to look up stuff for Mortal Kombat 1 and I just look up shit from the first game.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it, but, like, screw those people. They didn't need to throw in the 1 in there.
Exactly. And the ironic thing is, sometimes I try to basically look up information about the original
Windows
Mortal
Security.
Kombat.
Sorry about that.
Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, sorry for that rude bit of interruption. My computer said, hey, we didn't find any viruses.
I love it when it does that. Thank you for letting me know that everything is hunky-dory, even though I didn't ask.
Yep.
So, with Mortal Kombat 1, I'm kind of concerned about the game. Like, I think this is going to be one of those games where you just sort of have to wait until it comes out and see for yourself, because the more of the story bits that we get in the trailers, the less cohesive everything seems, and it just seems like there's no possible way that this game could ever make any sense in any way, shape, or form. So it's like, at this point, I just gotta know how it goes, because there just seems to be so many contradictory things that can't possibly, like, work in this world. Like, with what I've seen with Kitana and Mileena. Because, I mean, like, the idea is, like, in the original timeline, Mileena, she was basically a clone of Kitana that was spliced with Tarakawa DNA, and basically to be her replacement. She basically, Shang Tsung made her for Shao Kahn. Except in this new timeline, it seems like that's not the case, while at the same time it is. Like, somehow or another, Mileena has Tarakawa DNA inside of her, except it's like more like some kind of disease that's slowly mutating her into what we know into basically what we traditionally know her for, and yet somehow or another, it seems like she's lined up to be Sindel's heir instead of Kitana, despite the fact that she's supposed to be a clone. I mean, like, what is going on here? Like,
alrighty, I could
do.
Yeah, Liu Kang did change up the timeline a bit, but here are the things that I know thanks to it's, shall we say, a very close review. But despite the fact that I'm probably not going to play the game, I do like looking into the Mortal Kombat lore, because I guess one day, inevitably, I am going to play the game.
Yeah,
it's just not today.
Watch Let's Plays of it anyway.
Yeah.
You're sounding kind of faint there, Link.
I'm just intentionally talking soft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the long story of it is that, I think from what people are gathering, is that despite being in control of the timeline, Liu Kang cannot get rid of malefactors. Which is why despite her best efforts, Kronika couldn't get rid of Raiden and Liu Kang, because despite being the owner of the Hourglass and this almighty Titan, she straight up can't. She can only get them to fight each other.
Yeah. So, basically, Liu Kang can rewrite the timeline, but he can't negate someone's existence. Which is why people like Shang Tsung, Mileena, and basically everybody else that Liu Kang hates can't just be erased from existence.
Right. So what happened with Mileena is that he, I guess you could say, rewrote her whole life to be a lot better than initially was. Instead of being a clone, she's now straight up Kitana's sister, slightly older twin, which is ironic in a way, but you know that's perfectly fine. Liu Kang does not have a feeling towards this Kitana, so it's all fair game, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe, like, if it works out with Kitana basically ascending to the throne, that will basically be easier for Liu Kang to get together with Kitana.
Yeah, but to go a little beyond that, Tarkatans are no longer a proud, normal people. They are now just Outworlders, I guess Edenians, with a disease called Tarakat, which, well, I don't know how it started. But then from what I researched, neither do the characters. What they do know is that it slowly turns them into blood-killing machines that you can definitely bet that Shang Tsung is going to have his hand in some way or fashion at some point.
When doesn't he?
I find that so strange because it's almost like Liu Kang is trying to rewrite the timeline to try and make the Tarkatans be more civilized so that they can have like a chance at being a thriving people instead of like what they were. But at the same time, that's like very dangerous implications because he's basically kind of forcing them to deny their true nature, and the fact that it's repressed so much that it kind of comes out as a disease. Like, it's basically like your latent nature basically like forcing itself to the surface. So it's kind of like Liu Kang is trying to keep a lid on a soda that he's basically just shaken up, while at the same time having dropped a Mentos into it. Like,
oh God,
that's gonna bubble
be a
to the
mess.
surface, and it's gonna explode outward.
To in Liu Kang's defense, it's not like the Tarkatans were the best of people beforehand, because even in Baraka's ending, like despite in 11, despite joining up with Katana and being a supporter or whatnot, his decision and process if he wins the Hourglass is, alrighty, and now I'm going to leave my people to take out everyone else and then eat them. We're here now. There's a Baraka and all the Tarkatans. They now remember what it was like to be normal. So while, yes, it is a cruel fate that they have to experience now, especially since it'll apparently drive them mad as opposed to the culture that they had prior, they do have a better chance at being part of a greater civilization. Plus, we don't 100% know how much detail Liu Kang has over certain details of life. Like, for example, we know how Shao Kahn, or should I say General Kahn, gets into his position in the timeline.
Speaking of such, like, what exactly has Liu Kang done about Onaga?
Ah, we actually know this. So as it turns out, Shao's ancestors managed to best him and seal him away in a mountain. I could go talk about it more from what I have found out, but that would be spoilers.
Yep. I just kind of feel like this entire thing is basically like Liu Kang is playing with very dangerous forces, and it's all eventually just gonna blow up in his face. And I'm kind of hoping that it does at this point, because I can't help but feel like it's going to be such a hilarious backlash that you can't resist it.
Something tells me you're going to be there with the popcorn.
Probably. I mean...
Yeah. But to go back into the whole story with Shao himself, God, there's a joke I want to bring out, but I don't want to. Yeah, I suppose this is just. I'll save the invasion thing for detail later. So the whole thing with Shao Kahn is that Shao, part of a very prestigious military family in Outworld, but he specifically was born a sickly child. Old. And so, in order to help out his dear son, who very much earnestly wanted to fight for Outworld and protect it, decided to calmly but firmly throw him through training from hell, so that way, by the time he came out of it, his body was more than enough for any disease and any man, or woman, or child that stood in his way. Yeah, maybe. Maybe the end result is that Shao, instead of being someone who was super powerful and got the lord over others, in a weird way, Liu Kang did help him become a slightly better person, because he knows specifically the proper progression of
Honestly, I think that with Liu Kang basically rewriting his history to where he was a sickly child, I'm thinking that Liu Kang was hoping that his parents would, like, want to get rid of him.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that if they did that, the writers of Tekken would like to have a few short words with them.
That would be hilarious.
I'm just imagining that one video called, like, what was it, like, the Majima hairline?
Just imagine it like Shao Kahn's father throwing him off of a cliff.
Sorry, I could not resist because I'm listening to this and I was thinking this sounds like partially like Tekken, but with better.
With better parents.
Yeah, with better parents.
Oh yeah.
And I never even played Tekken, but I'm like super familiar with the lore because of Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually played Tekken either, because, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, basically we would go to Cece's Pizza, they would have Tekken arcade machines, and I would just like watching the intro cinematics. I know no idea who any of the characters were, though.
Yeah, I know they have one at a camping site that I go to every year, so that's fun. Let's see. So to go beyond that, back to what my earlier thought. Oh, God damn it.
So you were saying that Liu Kang was technically trying to make Shao Kahn into a better person.
Yeah, because think about it like this. Beforehand, Shao Kahn didn't really know too much of struggle. He knew what it like to not be as stronger than someone, but he was always likely able to crush someone's head right between his abs. Or, you know, just like put his hand on their shoulder to move them out of the way, but instead of, you know, throw them to the side, just like split them open to walk through. He starts off as weak, and thus build up to his legendary strength that he is otherwise renowned for back in the original timeline and certainly known now. So he's a lot more charismatic, and well, at the very least, he will treat the people directly under him with at least a little bit more
dignity.
Restraint.
Maybe not. Yeah, at the very least. At the very least.
Oh.
Please that, yeah.
And Depot's talking. Gary goes on. Naturally, I'm expecting him to bring back to Rushless and the weather systems. He says, and of course, the river's dried up and the cats have gone missing. Wait, the river dried up? Wow, I think this is interesting. I've heard of deer going inland before a thunderstorm. Maybe cats are sensitive to the weather, too. Wait, the river dried up, but the mayor went down the river in his boat.
The mayor has been eaten.
Yeah, I say, go on, Gary, a third time.
Yeah.
And that's where it cuts off. Anyways, back to Mortal Kombat and Shao Kahn.
Yeah. Well, but yes, Shao Kahn is Kahn definitely at the very least have that, and a more naturalistic pride. Beforehand, you could describe his pride in Outworld as less the country, but more of this is my toy box, and no one else gets to mess with it, and I get to expend it every chance I get.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
here, while his you could say his alignment is the same, he at the very least wants to support, to have Outworld interests best in mind. He probably would still make a harsher place if he was ever made the Emperor or Khan again, but he at the very least would be well, not as murder crazy as the original Shao Kahn.
In other words, he'll be a little more respectful.
I am trying my hardest to not make a Moga joke.
Yeah. Let's see.
Although, I gotta basically comment on this. Chaos, when you basically said that, like, Shao Kahn would put a hand on someone's shoulder to rip them in half if they were standing in his way, like, that just basically reminded me of, like, something. Like, in the old days, like, whenever a gentleman was escorting a lady on the street and they came across a mud patch, the gentleman would basically take off his cloak and lay it on the ground so that the lady could walk across it and not get her shoes dirty. Like, your comment basically made me think of Shao Kahn doing that, only for him to grab some random guy and just, like, rip his skin off of his body and then lay it on the ground to walk over.
Ooh.
Gentlemanity.
I can't help it. That's because I feel like that's something that he'd do.
Oh yeah. Let's see. What else? What else is there of? Let's see.
Here we go.
So in terms of the bet. Okay. Any other questions?
I think that one of the things that I'm most interested in is what Liu Kang has done with Shang Tsung, because. Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Shang Tsung originally an Earthrealmer, and he was basically, like, seduced by Shao Kahn to basically sell out Earthrealm and basically, like, come and basically, like, help serve me in Outworld, and I'll basically give you treasure, power, and all sorts of benefits and whatnot?
Indeed. That was his original thing. Here now, instead of starting out as a great and powerful sorcerer that he is, or specifically being from Earthrealm, not 100% certain about that now. Shang Tsung, who, by the way, from what I've seen of the voice actor, does a really
Vinny.
good job.
Welcome to the stream.
Oh, hello.
Yep.
But yeah. Welcome to PowerWash Simulator. Now, excuse us, we're going to talk about a game that's all about blood, gore, and violence called Mortal Kombat 1. But
yeah,
anyway,
I expect random topics with these PowerWash streams. Helps pass the time.
Pretty much.
But, yeah. So, Shang Tsung is probably the only person that didn't get the potential hardship, humility, and whatnot, or maybe that was originally the plan, who knows. He actually is,
sorry, Vinny.
Yeah,
sorry for interrupting. I'm sorry, Vinny, but these kinds of things, I'd rather, like, keep it with close friends.
Plus,
I do
it's
apologize.
Only 2-player.
Yeah,
yep.
Plus it's, like, kind of only 2-player as well. And my partner in crime is, like, on top of the satellite right now, as you can tell by most of it being already clean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Shang Tsung has become, in the new era, is a snake oil salesman who dresses up like an old man to sell all these ancient remedies will help cure every disease. And the first thing we get to him is him trying to sell this product, only for a parent who sadly lost their child to be like, "Your thing doesn't work, Shang Tsung." And then Shang Tsung, after failing to convince the crowd that he's legit and the guy's lying, gets his butt handed to him by the crowd. He lives, but, he gets beaten up.
Wow.
You see, that's kind of what I expected that Liu Kang would basically do to his enemies in this new era. To basically, if he can't get rid of them, keep them in positions where they can never succeed. I mean, Shang Tsung being a street vendor selling snake oil, that's so funny. And the idea that he gets beaten up over it.
Oh yeah, it's very funny. It also gets kind of like sad from his perspective, because after the whole thing, he's just like resting by a temple and he's just like all dejected and whatnot, which granted, he kind of deserves it, but at the same time, we don't necessarily know his background. Not that I'm trying to earn sympathy towards the man, but I am curious about what was his life to get to that point. And Well, things take a turn when someone promises to teach him sorcery after recognizing what he was trying to do.
Yeah,
And
that's going to be good for business.
And that someone looked very familiar for those who have seen gameplay of 11. Hilariously enough, that person also refers to himself as Damshi?
I guess what I'm basically saying is that, like, if I were Liu Kang or in this position, I would basically make sure that Shao Kahn was stuck working a drive-thru. That would be so hilarious. And I'd make Johnny Cage the ruler of Outworld just because.
Oh, I love that you brought that up because, you know what? I can't hold it back anymore. So you know the invasion mode that they have?
No, actually, I don't.
Okay, so it's pretty much Mario Party Mortal Kombat edition with all sorts of little mini games, including actual fights. And they usually have some sort of theme. I think the first one is going to be with the original Scorpion, because you know the current Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 1 is Kuai Liang, which is hilarious on multiple levels.
Wait, Kuai Liang is Scorpion now? What happened to Hanzo?
Oh, that actually gets revealed in the ending for Smoke, where, long story short, Shirai Ryu doesn't get started until Harumi and Kuai Liang get married. Yes, you heard me right. Hanzo's wife in every other timeline gets married to Kuai Liang.
And Kuai Liang, it's Bihan's younger brother, right?
Right.
I mean, if they had basically made Bihan into Scorpion, that would just be so insulting.
Oh, and yeah. Debo has responded. Gary says it's all aliens. You're using our water creek clouds to disguise our activity, which is to steal all of our natural resources. The cats are the recon units, and they're currently reporting back on Descenders. Guess who I heard this from? The mayor himself. We're days away from an invasion, mark my words. Not again, this time backing well away. Oh, little did they know what the truth was.
You know, speaking of, like, the river being drained, I mean, the mayor and Blake were running an illegal mining operation. That would require a lot of diverted water, so maybe they ended up draining the river, like, in order to basically do this operation. And maybe, like...
How do I have so much money? I saved up.
Yep.
I have already
saved up and did all the jobs. You said you just started. We've been at it for a while.
Yeah, I've actually beaten the main game. I got all the stuff and everything. The only thing I haven't spent any extra cash on is basically the uniforms and a lot of soap.
In fact, if you're basically just starting out the game, you probably want to avoid spoilers.
Yep.
Indeed.
I have 1,000. I spent it on skins. Okay, here's my advice. Don't spend it on the skins right away. Just get all the equipment. Especially when you unlock the extending attachments. Those things are going to be expensive.
And very useful.
And then, of course, there's like the best power washer in the game, which of course is the Prime Vista Pro. That's yeah, and that's gonna cost a lot. There we go. So yeah, that's my advice for you, Vinny. Just don't spend it on the skins right away. Save it for after, when you have a bit more extra cash after getting as much of the gear as possible. It'll help you out in the long run. Okay. Whoa. Okay, the large ladder is done. Up I go.
Man, this place is gonna shine like a new penny.
Or in my case, a new nickel, because there's no pennies left in Canada.
Ah, you guys finally got rid of them, huh?
We've had it's actually been gone for a few years now, because it was costing more to make the penny than the penny itself.
Yep, that's pretty much where it goes. It literally costs more to make the pennies than the pennies are actually worth.
Oh, why, thank you, Vinny.
With a giant satellite dish like this, you guys could probably reenact the ending of the Cable Guy. Or maybe GoldenEye.
For England, James.
So, any other basically like questions about Mortal Kombat 1? Because I mean, friggin' Bihan, Master Blueberry Ice, is now Scorpion.
No, Kuai Liang.
Kuai Liang.
Yeah, Bihan is new, or at least he was new. Now he's himself again.
So let me get this straight. Kuai Liang is now Scorpion, so that Bihan can be Sub-Zero.
Yes.
What?
That said, Hanzo actually does show up. So like I mentioned before, the Shirai Ryu gets founded.
I just don't get it. Like, why would Liu Kang do this? I thought that basically at the time when basically he became Fire God and Time Master Liu Kang, he and Scorpion were on pretty good terms. Much better than being on terms with Bihan.
Well, at the very least Well, at the very least, his family didn't die yet. But that said, to go on to whatever happened to the original Hanzo Hasashi himself...
I mean...
original, but you know what I mean.
His family didn't die, but his wife is getting married to the brother of the guy who killed her.
Yeah, or will kill her. Who knows?
You see what I mean? Like, Liu Kang is building, like, the most tenuous house of cards imaginable. There's no way this thing isn't gonna collapse on itself.
But anyway, can I get to the bit about where Hanzo is?
Well, I don't know, can you?
Maybe you just leave me talk! So anyway, Hanzo gets found in Smoke's ending. He's visible in Scorpion's ending as well, but you wouldn't be able to know that's him unless you see in Smoke's ending.
Alright.
Because all the arcade endings are canon.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. So don't expect too many fatalities in the story mode. Well, yeah, there will be fatalities. What am I going on about?
I mean, you could perform them, but they're probably not going to mean anything.
Yeah. But like I was saying, so right, Hanzo. So Hanzo was actually a orphan child this time around who didn't have who was pretty much just stealing in order to try to get himself money for food or whatnot. Smoke takes pity seeing himself in Hanzo and initiates him into the Shirai Ryu.
Oh wow!
But much to Kuai Liang's approval, so.
So now in this continuity, Kuai Liang and Smoke are not members of the Lin Kuei; they're the members of the Shirai Ryu.
They were part of the Lin Kuei, but they decided to split off for reasons I'm not going to specify.
I smell spoilers again.
Indeed.
Wonder how Big Brother Blueberry Master feels about this.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how things go, or at least I guess you will.
I mean,
but,
this basically feels like the most awkward family portrait I have ever seen.
But, yeah. Yeah, so...
Depends on what you need more. Really, Vinny. Normally I would go, like, right for the next power washer, but if you don't have all the attachments for the previous one, Jess, I suggest getting those first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, Grass.
Hello. Let's see, what else is there off the top of my head? Oh yeah, there's also the invasion mode where they do all sorts of theme things as well. Like I think the first theme is pretty much a time-traveling Hanzo Asashi looking for the one timeline where his wife doesn't get murdered. And he finds it, and of course she's getting married to Kuai Liang.
Ugh, that is just torture, man.
Yeah, so naturally he decided the whole timeline must go now, so, yeah, that's fun. So, and along the way you have to deal with a bunch of other, time travelers, I guess. And, the funny thing is about this, some of them will actually have shall we say, a unique theming to them. By the fact that some of them might, let's say, have a slightly different story than their other counterpart. Like, for example, there's a version of Johnny who's Khan of Outworld.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And you want to know what he's called?
Johnny Khan.
No. John Connor.
John Connor. And yet the Terminator was in the last game.
Whoop.
John Connor. This is getting clearly out of control.
Oh, you got 7 subscribers, Grass? Congratulations.
Welcome.
Yeah, so expect random topics here. And if in case you guys weren't around at the beginning of the stream, the streaming times are going to be a little more sporadic because my co-host Lake here got himself another job.
Yep. But I mean, can you guys just imagine how torturous that actually is? To literally scan across the multiverse, all sorts of different timelines, and the only one where your wife ends up surviving is the one where she's not with you. It's basically the universe pretty much saying that you are the denominator in this variable. It's your fault.
All I can say is, ouch.
That is beyond ouch.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll certainly be interesting to see how the new Hanzo Hasashi will be, because I imagine whether it be in this game or the next one, we're definitely going to see him take on a new because one of two things is going to happen. Either Hanzo ends up inheriting his old mantle from Kuai Liang, who, by the way, his name means something along the lines of, like, quick freeze or something like that, so him being the guy with fire powers is hilarious now.
Mm-hmm.
See, Liu Kang just doesn't know what he's doing.
But, yeah. But of course, if he does that, that means Kuai Liang will have to change. So perhaps he'll, instead of just using fire powers, he gains the ability to use fire and ice power. And he'll take the new code name of Steam.
Would make sense. Team up with Smoke.
Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah. At least now that old catchphrase of Smoke actually makes sense now. Now where before he said when there's smoke, there's fire, which didn't really make sense considering A, none of the Lin Kuei use fire except Sector, but he never had any sort of real good relationship with Sector beyond being his beyond being a forced robo buddy.
Yeah.
But now he can actually be his own proper first thing with his catchphrase with Scorpion, who is his adopted brother, or his adopted brother. Smoke was the one who got adopted.
You know, like, with all of this and all these confusing and conflicting details coming into conflict the way they are, I really can't help but think that a perfect way that this game should end is for Mortal Kombat 11 Raiden to just basically, like, break into the hourglass chamber and start chastising Liu Kang, basically saying, Liu Kang, you can't basically rewrite reality based on your own fan fiction. You put it back the way it was now.
Of all the people to chastise Liu Kang over this, you chose the one guy who's technically guilty of it too.
I mean, what Raiden basically did, he did because there was basically no other way to win. Like, Shao Kahn had to win, and because that was the only way to get the Elder Gods off their asses. I mean, the best way to get somebody to do something is making them realize that they pretty much have no choice.
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, Vinny. Like I said, I got other things planned today for right now in terms of gaming and stuff, especially since the Teal Mask DLC is out, and House and I are just about done with that.
Look, Vinny, take it from me. The hardest thing to do is pinning these guys down to basically get to do anything together. They are basically always constantly doing stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for understanding, Vinny.
And now we go on the hunt for that 1% that you guys have overlooked.
Oh, don't worry. We see the 1%.
Yeah, it should be on, like, the side of the dish.
As well as, like, the middle bit here. That's why I'm on the scaffolding.
And I got the extender looking from down here. God, it's the smallest of fragment that should disappear already.
Exactly. This game has some kind of sick sense of humor.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the edge of the dishes here. Oh, there you got that done. Okay, next.
So which one do we do after this one?
That's been grass. That happened a few years ago.
Years?
Happened a while ago. That much I know for certain.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
What I find ironic is that basically when I first got that news, I was basically working the same job that I'm working now.
There we go. Let's see.
It's fine to be sad about. About a grass. It's just, again, like, it was a while ago. At this point. Not super, super long ago, granted, but...
I mean, I gotta admit it, I'm still sad about the fact that Sean Connery died. I think one of the things that irritates me the most about his death is the fact that he died on Halloween.
Okay, the top of here we haven't not done all too well on. There we go. Alright, that L's a bit here. Eh, fine to be, again, sad that an idol died, but it's still just kind of a random thing to bring up.
It's all on the edges. If you're wondering where the dirt is.
Oh God.
Really makes me wish that you guys had a jetpack.
What I would give to have flood.
Speaking of such, I've been on a Mario Sunshine kick again lately. Basically like watching videos, basically like talking about how a lot of people basically have their opinions on which Mario Sunshine levels and Shine sprites were the hardest to get. And I'm just basically like going through my own playthrough of playing through the game on those levels to see how I did. I was just basically beasting through them. I mean, like, there was one guy that basically said, like, the Sandbird was, like, one of the hardest levels, and it's like, dude,
I
just...
missed the door handle on this thing?
You think you missed the door handle?
Okay, got it.
That's funny. That's
Yeah, not
funny,
the first
right?
time.
It's so small.
And a couple of railing. Oh my God.
No, no offense, Grass. Hope you don't mind me saying this, but what does football have to do with Kobe Bryant? Last I checked, he was a basketball player.
There we go. That's those.
Let's see.
The receiver's not done. Where the heck is the receiver?
Probably on the top of the dish.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Imagine if when we're done cleaning this, it suddenly got a message from space.
From Spice.
Well, let's hope it doesn't crash again. There we go. Receiver done.
And still not done.
Okay, trims.
Control room frame.
Yes, we're aware of who Mr. Beast is. At this point, you're switching topics so fast we can't seem to keep up.
At this point, it's just completely random.
Yeah, anyways, back on topic in terms of video games. Let's look at the... Oh yeah, and a few indie games are going to be coming in. Like, for example, there's one called Dave the Diver where you're swimming down in the ocean for fish just to make sushi later in the day. Originally, it's like kind of on Steam right now, but... Okay, where are these trims?
I think that it really is amazing what the indie game scene has basically proven what you can do in order to make video games. Because when you get down to it, these indie game developers, they've made games out of what seem to be the most mundane situations. Like, say, working a night job, for example.
Or in this case, power washing.
Power washing, or gathering sushi. And I think that that's what's incredible, because it goes to show that it's really not what you do, it's how you do it. Because, I mean, like, with the Power Wash simulator, I think that the game has such... I think that part of the reason that the game is so fun is because it's just so cathartic, just being able to basically clean like these things. Kind of like, I think, how it was in Mario Sunshine. Part of the appeal was that you see all this ickiness, but this water can just immediately just blast it away.
Yep.
And then there are other examples, because I've recently gotten back into watching some of Jacksepticeye's stuff, and basically I've come to basically, like, got a bit of a fascination with his Chilla Arts videos. Chilla Arts is basically like this somewhat independent game studio, and they specialize in making horror games. Horror games that are based off of actual Japanese urban legends. So, in fact,
that's why. Where did they come from?
Some of them basically claim that some of these stories are based on real events, but they might basically be based on, like, things that people think happened to them, but I think they more or less come from urban legends. And I gotta admit, even though the games kind of, I think, only work best as kind of like maybe you play them once just to experience them, and they kind of lose their power on subsequent playthroughs, they are pretty dang creepy and pretty engrossing. Like, the videos are all, like, mostly an hour long, if not 45 minutes, and I keep thinking, like, oh man, it's gonna take forever watching this, but going through it, like, you get so engrossed in the story that the time just flies by so quickly. I've ended up staying up late so many nights this week and being late to work the next day because I can't stop watching
on top.
them.
That's what I meant by surface.
Surface trims. Yep. Oh, by the way, LT, when you basically, like, told me the other day, did you actually watch the entirety of that golf video that that Jacksepticeye put out?
Yep.
Wow. I didn't actually think you had it in you to watch the entire thing. What'd you think of it?
I'm never watching it again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm Grass. What are you doing now? At this point, I feel like you're just spamming.
Yeah, can you please not spam? I'd rather
Last
not.
warning before I take matters in my own hands as a moderator.
Mm-hmm. Because I do not appreciate spam or random topics, especially when we're talking about something else on stream.
You said I would stop before, so don't think that the next time you do it, I will. Okay. Woo! Finally.
Woohoo!
Yeah, the things on the reflectors were like on the surface. Great work, Doc. The satellite dish looks out of this world clean. I don't think it's going to pick up whatever signal from wherever it is they're pointing at, but at least it got the job done. All the best, bud. Keep it flowing out there. Oh, goody! Here's the fun bit. They fixed this! They fixed this! Now I don't have to, like, open up in the chat.
Yay. They finally fixed it.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like this had changed. So I guess all we have to do is do up more of the bonus jobs and then see if that cleans up the entirety that allows us to do the Muckingham files. So
we gotta do the bonus jobs in order to unlock the Muckingham files?
Well, it said the Muckingham... I think these bonus jobs are the Muckingham files.
Darn it, I was hoping that we were going to get more plot stuff.
I guess in a way it is plot stuff. So, which one should we do now?
Well, I kind of feel like we should do something small. So, how about that food truck?
Yeah, let's do the food truck. Something small, something easy. Thanks for coming all this way, Scrubba. Thanks, neighbor, and their motorcycle.
Get a muffler.
Yeah, but the thing is, Vinny, we only stream for like 2 hours, and we've been at this for like
2 hours.
Yeah, almost 2 hours. So we're finishing off on the small one. So thanks for coming all this way, Scrubba. It's really appreciated. My food truck's in a sorry old state. It's a long story, so I'll fill you in along the way, but in a nutshell, business just got tougher and tougher. I started delivering to customers where I could find them. Right now, the only folks interested in are those living the quiet life in the national park. Guess the rumors haven't reached that far yet, but when neither has the Department of Transport, off-roading was a nightmare. It splattered my ingredients everywhere, and it must have hit more tree branches than a sulking Sasquatch. Now I've returned to the recreation ground, and I'm understanding again nothing but filthy looks from passers-by. Can you please clean both my truck and my reputation, Ella? Okay, Miss Good. Yeah, it has been an hour, but sometimes these small jobs may take a little longer.
Yep, that's the nature of the game, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, with like the two of you, it should basically be pretty
brief. Oh, Nelly!
¿Qué pasó? Oh, it's got a burger on top.
Yeah.
Oh, great. You
and a graffiti note. And look at the inside. Oh no! Oh, there's ketchup and mustard and hot sauce all over the place.
How the heck do you let your business get this decrepit?
Well, remember, she was off-roading, so it spilled all over the place. I'm guessing you heard about my famous Muckin' Hamburger?
Muckin' Ham.
While you may see my catchy ad local network a while back, we know about the ham, but what's the muck?
What the muck?
I mean...
I come and shake my head and tap my nose. Sorry, guys, but you're all out of luck. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because nothing better than posing a question that you don't want people to think of the implications of.
There we go. Ramp's done.
And basically, like with Pokemon fans being here and part of this, you really don't want that to be the name of your burger.
Yeah, I was trying to generate some mystery about the ingredients of my burgers. Get the buzz going. Ah, it was the advertisement thing.
You see, you guys are breezing through this already. 20%. And the messages are just gonna fly, aren't they?
You know,
bling,
like
bling.
Thingy to do with their chickeny bits. Okay.
Chicken. I could really go for some chicken on the bone right now.
And now... Oh, thanks a lot, Link! Now I feel like fried chicken for dinner.
Speaking of which, I got my cherry pie.
That reminds me, I still want to buy a cherry pie.
I was hoping to basically like that Kroger, that their bakery section would have a half cherry pie, because I basically did see that they used to sell those, but I couldn't find one. But then they had some smaller ones that was like $4.99, and it's like, what the hell?
So it's like the small snack-sized ones?
No, it's a full-sized pie. It's just smaller than the triple cherry pie that they basically have in those exclusive boxes.
Oh my god, that sounds so good!
Oh, believe me, it is. If basically, like, if I wasn't trying to be a little bit careful nowadays, I definitely would have gotten the triple.
The fact is, there was nothing special about what I put in there. It was just a standard Merlocki plus a lot of salt. So, yeah, advertising.
I was just thinking that maybe the muck could be a combination.
It worked a treat, and we rushed off our feet for years.
Rushed off our feet.
What the... We filled every festival from here to Sparkleton. Hey, Oz! I'm stuck! Are you done the outside already?
Not quite. But you had the doors all filthy. On the section, you would have seen it.
Yeah.
Waggly finger.
But then the cat started to go missing. You remember, starting with Ulysses, the mayor's cat? Yeah, he's actually chilling at home right now. That was fine, but when more disappeared, a rumor started to get... They were going to my burgers. Can you imagine? That's her. It was awful.
That just reminded me of when we had meat shortages back when the pandemic started. Good times. Good times.
You guys had meat shortages?
Yeah. I mean, and the customers, they just wouldn't stop complaining about it. It's like, do you guys not know what's been happening lately? You guys basically realize that they're shutting literally everything down, so of course eventually we're going to run out of meat.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of small businesses took a big hit because of that.
Yeah. But I really loved messing with the customers when it came to it. Why is it that you guys are out of meat all of a sudden? Well, you see, management doesn't know where our meat's coming from. So we asked corporate. They don't know. So we asked the meat distributor, the meat packagers, the butchers, the farmers. They didn't know. But the pet hospital people, they knew.
Good time, you, and you might just drop dead on the floor. Because I built up to this mystery. People leaned into it and my sales took a dive. Ouch.
I mean, that's basically what's going to happen to Krabs when he...
In the end, I declared my ingredient list, and when people saw the colossal salt contents, that was really the end.
Oh, no. A lot of salt.
I was left with no option but to deliver the odd customer here where I found them, and I do mean odd.
What, was it Hansel and Gretel out in the woods?
Nah, it was me last week.
I mean, the same thing is going to happen to crabs when it comes out that the secret ingredient for the Krabby Patty is cocaine.
What?
You can't convince me that it's not. I mean, the Krusty Krab is shaped like a lobster trap. A colloquial term for cocaine is white lobster. And the fact that basically the entire city of Bikini Bottom falls into chaos whenever SpongeBob takes a day off.
I don't know how Mr. Krabs doing it before SpongeBob joined in.
No, he was doing it even before SpongeBob joined in because they had Jim. I'm talking about the fact that the customers are literally have such a need for the Krabby Patty, it's like they're addicted.
Oh, suspicious.
I mean, I think that it's a lot better than the theory that all this time that the Krabby Patty meat was actually whale meat made out of Pearl's mother.
I don't want to know.
You probably don't.
I think it's pretty straightforward, the theory. You just pretty much just said it.
Pretty much.
There's no mystery about what else there could possibly be.
No, I think the real thing that she doesn't want to know is the implication of why Krabs is raising Pearl as his daughter.
That's pretty straightforward.
I think so too.
Secret formula has crabs in it. That's why there are no other crabs.
Oh, there are other crabs. We just don't see them, except for save episodes.
Yep.
Man, 96%. You guys basically tore this place apart.
We didn't tear it apart. The mud already did that. We just cleaned it up.
I really wish I didn't have to clean the burger on top. At least that way the whole muck and ham part would be more accurate.
You know, I'm just like thinking, muck could basically have just been like a combination of ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard basically mixed together to form a secret sauce, because some people actually do that, and they get away with it, but, like, yeah, the fact that basically it's just pretty much just like nothing but salt.
Not even the cheese is real, it's just salt.
I mean, American cheese basically is pretty much like really salty.
I think I'll stick to regular cheddar. Or Swiss. Especially on my subs.
Man, I had a sub for like the first time in like months. Just a few days ago. It was on Tuesday. It was so good. An Italian BMT, and I got it with white cheese.
Mmm. Oh.
Black Forest ham, pepperoni, and salami. Shredded lettuce, and black olives and pickles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I like on my sub. Okay, I go for either turkey or seafood. With depending on where I go for just mayo or maybe just a stripe of mayo and honey mustard. And then I load up with some of the vegetables. Lettuce, spinach if they have it, tomato, light onions, light green peppers because I do not like too many raw green peppers. Too bitter for me. Mushrooms if they have it, extra mushrooms, especially if they have it. Let's see. Cucumbers, a little bit of pickles. Let's see. I think that's pretty much just about it right there. There we go.
Well, I hope that's just about it right there because I'm
Yeah, that's
hungry.
because I load my thing with vegetables. Especially if there's mushrooms. I love my mushrooms.
You're like the only other person that I know that likes mushrooms.
Heck, I even like mushrooms on pizza.
I like mushrooms on pizza too.
I haven't tried mushrooms, really.
I feel like basically it's one of those things that you could just really get used to pretty easily.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, get yourself a supreme pizza. Like, the blend of flavors will just... It'll just work, you know?
Especially if it uses cremity mushrooms, which has like a bit of a slight nutty taste. Not like overly nutty, but pleasant enough. Very tasty.
I like basically frying up a few mushrooms when I make some scrambled eggs.
Mmm.
And maybe some diced onions to throw in there as well.
That's a whole omelet right there.
Yeah, it could be. I just never really fold it. I like my eggs to be open air.
Nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their preference on how they like their eggs. For me, it's like scrambled or sunny side.
Whenever I basically do sunny side eggs, I always basically put them on a piece of toast. Eggs on toast, what we call it. Basically like the same as baking eggs in a nest, except the nest isn't open.
Nice. Hey, how do you like your eggs?
I don't.
I had a feeling he was about to say that. He doesn't.
Ah.
I do not like green eggs and ham.
Okay. Do you like them here or there?
Not here nor anywhere.
Would you eat them on a boat?
No, I would not eat them on a boat.
Would you eat them with a goat?
No, I would not eat them with a goat. I especially would not eat them in a moat.
That's a new one.
Would you eat them on a float?
Not even wearing a coat.
Oh man, fun thing about that. Oh, green eggs and ham was actually the result of someone making a bet with Dr. Seuss.
Someone making a bet with Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
And what
saying
were
that
the details?
they didn't think that he would just like make a rhyming story like that in like, I don't know, 100 words, 500 words. I can't remember what it was, and he just knocked it out of the park.
I don't think that you can actually, challenge Dr. Seuss to do anything that he's not going to be able to do. Like, seriously.
Yeah, his books were, like, the pinnacle of my childhood reading. Oh, apparently Vinny, who lives in the UK, likes his boiled. I like boiled eggs too.
Me too. Which is ironic. Basically, my father hates them because he says, he can't stand the smell of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can smell a little bit funky, but I think I just associate the smell with good taste.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting some boiled eggs, chop them up, make some egg salad, or maybe just having them alone as a snack, and then basically maybe taking them chopped up and basically mixing some flour and milk, making cream of egg in the morning.
Nice. Yeah, what I do with my boiled eggs is that I either have it soft boiled to dip my toast in, hard boiled for egg salad, or to add to my ramen, and I think that's pretty much it.
Man, I can't wait to start making decent money again, because my sister basically told me about this ramen place that basically is nearby, and I basically have been wanting to try it.
Okay, there's a divider I missed inside. This bad boy.
You gotta wash this new divide.
Aw, man. Here we go. Headlights, sign arrow, and sign backdrop.
I couldn't help it.
Got it!
Finally done.
Yay!
Look at that. We got it done in 15 minutes. Get us go!
I told you this was a good idea to go with.
Truck looks amazing. You're a whiz. Watching you soothingly wash away all that filth got me thinking, though. I need a fresh start. I'm going full rebrand. I'm either going to move to Bucketon and go full chicken, or Spongely and do a bakery conversion. What do you think? Jeez.
Well, you're going to have to get rid of the burger, I think.
Yeah.
Kinda good.
So, we got time for one more? Because this excavator looks like it'll be a quick one.
Well, if Chaos is up for it.
What did you say, Chaos?
What is it?
An excavator. You know, the things with the giant shovel that dig up holes for construction?
That should be simple enough.
Okay. Hello, from Marie in Hamilton. Hello, dear. Isn't it amazing what you find in your yard when you have a little dig around? I've been having the most incredible time in mine. And as a result, there's like an industrial shell excavator in my front yard that's as filthy as you like. Could you be a love and wash it down for me? Thanks a bunch. Maureen. Aw.
I was basically about to ask, wait, she found this in her backyard?
Yeah. Hey, Vinny. We're just about to do one more job, and then that'll be it for the stream. Another quick job.
Yep.
At least we're hoping it'll be quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just one little excavator. What? And excavators naturally get dirty because they're digging up stuff in roads and stuff. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What the heck were they digging? Well,
I just love that little bucket is there.
Yep. Well, good news, Chaos. It's just the one excavator.
I had a sneaking suspicion when you mentioned a hole.
Yeah. So glad you're likely take you a while to clean the great thing. No worries, Maureen. It shouldn't take us long at all.
Looks simple enough.
I'll pop the kettle on the stove and make you a nice hot drink and tell you the entire amazing story. Ooh. Can't wait. She sounds like a deer. Do. Always a gnome in one of these things. By the way, one of the graffitis on the chalkboard back at the food truck was a gnome. How long till your next stream? I don't know, depending on when Link's next day off is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Get under here. Get back here. About 5 months ago, I was rocking back and forth in my hammock, trying desperately to remember the recipe to a delicious broth I once had in 1983. Huh. Okay. Suddenly, something shiny caught my eye, glistening in the sun. Okay. I waddled up to get my trowel, determined to dig up whatever it was. Oh, I wonder what she found.
It'd be funny if it was the entire excavator.
Beforehand, I've only used a shovel.
Excuse me?
Man, you guys are really getting this thing very shiny.
Yep. That's what a little love, elbow grease, and a dang good power washer can do.
Or maybe it's just because I'm not seeing these things in blue. Like, basically where I'm from, all these things come in yellow or orange.
Yeah, I've been there. I guess it depends on the company, really. As I started to dig, I thought it might be an old tin of soup that I didn't like and had thrown out the window. Well, that's a waste of food! Probably vegetable. I get angry as soon as I see the label. They don't even try to make it tasty. But no, it was something far stranger than that. Ooh. Wonder what she found. I just like all these little stories that happen in the background as we're just doing one of the most mundane jobs out there that leads with great results. Power washing. Yeah, going back to the old indie thing, I like it how indie developers tend to get creative with this sort of thing. They take one of the most boring things and make it exciting for a video game. Even going a little bit off the rails a little bit, like with the ending, of which I'm not going to spoil for Vinny's sake.
It's like I said, they can take the most mundane thing and make it interesting, because it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Like, it could be basically like working a night shift over at a convenience store, and suddenly you get haunted.
Yeah. That or it's made into a simulator for robots.
Or you could be delivering packages to an apartment complex only to find out that most everybody in this neighborhood hated this one particular guy, so they all got together and murdered him.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I think that story was probably like one of the most tragic. Kohei was really just a nice guy who just wanted to make friends with people, but everybody looked down on him, and then they basically got together and just... So no wonder his ghost was a little bit upset about that.
Yep. Do. Caution, watch your head. Yep, don't worry, I'm being careful. The first thing I saw once I got my trowel into the ground was a tooth. What?
Ooh, this could be interesting.
But not the tooth of a vole or a rabbit or even a tyrannosaur. Oh, God.
Aww.
He was a cat.
I mean, I would basically be thinking that this.
Oh no, this was much stranger than that.
Was it a human tooth?
I realized that this was going to be a big and curious job. Well, don't keep us in suspense! What was it?
What a tease.
God, I hate it when people do that.
I was going to need something heavy-duty to get this thing out. It's on the garden. I only just realized I've nearly finished it too. Yep. This is like when I first started with PowerWash Simulator. I was mostly by myself. Then I finally managed to convince Chaos to grab it so it can be a little quicker for me to get these jobs done, since it had multiplayer. At the time, though, it was a little buggy, since originally this was a PC game and they were still ironing out the bugs for the console ports. They're still, in fact, to this day, they're still ironing out the bugs for the Switch ports.
Well, at least they're ironing it out. There was I know one game that, as much as I otherwise love it, has the little flaw of the developers did not either have the resources or care enough to stop a game-breaking bug that they had on the.
After moving,
not really bug, but had crashed.
Yeah. After moving tons of dirt, I reveal a huge pendulous arm. Further down, an enormous body.
Oh my god, she did find the excavator underneath.
Many more tons later, I managed to free the entire thing and pivot out into the road. Oh my freaking god.
Can I call it, or can I call it?
That's right, as incredible as it sounds, with just my trowel and shovel, I excavated this excavator. You called it! Someone get you lottery numbers.
I even called her using a shovel to get this thing out.
You guys did, so you can...
Don't call me a prophet. I am an investigator.
Don't call me a prophet either. I am at a loss. I am needing to build up the revenue.
Jeez. So she found this thing buried in her yard and asked us to clean it up so she could probably call Blue Sky saying, "Hey, I found your excavator buried in my yard. Can you come pick it up?"
I have the excavator. I ain't giving it back. Mine now.
Definitely is amazing what one person can find in their yard.
Some people find excavators, some people find dead bodies. Tomato, tomato.
I think this is a little more harmless and less morbid than a dead body.
Yep.
You never know.
Pendulous arm. Yeah, well, you guys are already at 90%.
At least this time with the whole thing being dirty makes proper sense.
Yeah, it was buried.
Although, judging by the look of that hole, I don't think that you could actually bury something this big in that hole.
Probably some dirt actually fell back in while she was moving it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe the lady is just completely senile and she imagined this entire scenario.
I don't know. I don't see any traffic cones or anything out.
Because, I mean, like, when they were... This would have had to have been buried here by accident when they were building this house. Like, who lost track of this thing?
Someone who did not like their job.
Clearly someone from Blue Sky. There we go. Still, kind of funny she managed to dig all this thing up and managed to bring it all the way out here. At least this one is just a harmless thing that we could just laugh at.
Yep.
Whoa. That dang frame rate was getting to me. All the dings.
Lower the boom, girl. Lower the boom.
Before you go, you have any nozzle recommendations? For me, I like going with the 15 degree and sometimes the 0 to turbo for the details. Sure, it's a little more time consuming, but they're the best ones for like quicker cleans. I barely use the other ones. At least until you unlock, of course. Oh. Until at least you unlock the triple tip nozzle for the Pro. Then you're getting somewhere. But yeah, those are my recommendations. So basically the red one, the white one, the yellow one, and then eventually the triple red one. Those are my recommendations there, Vinny. Should I buy any for the first gun, or should I try to get the next gun? Whatever you feel is a good idea. If you want to go straight for like the next power washer, that's your prerogative. If you want to just go get the other nozzles first, that's your choice as well. Boom cylinder brackets. Ah, it's these things. It's these little knobby things here. Okay. Well, there's only one way to figure out where that is. Aha! It's are those things in the bottom here.
Typical.
Sometimes they're in just weird angles. Yeah, no worries. Hey, Oz, you still there?
I'm still here, just
Okay.
thinking about what else to clean.
It's these two little things. It's these little things in here.
Oh, those things. Okay.
Yeah, they're a little weird to get into because of the angles and all.
It looks pretty clean to me.
Yep, but they're still glowing.
Up!
Oh, got one.
Got it!
There we go.
Yay.
Woo!
Teamwork.
That's it! The simplest jobs. The job you done on excavator is astonishing. Now it's clean. I can scarcely believe I found it buried in my yard. Just goes to show if you keep going, amazing things will follow. Just out of interest, how much do you think this thing could go for? I've got a feeling I compromised the bungalow's foundations and could do with a cash injection.
Yep.
Yep.
I had a feeling that that's what this was all about. No way she was just going to give it back for free.
Yeah, no. Anyways, well, I think that'll be it for now. I think next time we'll do, like, the mini golf course, maybe the steam locomotive, because they're real, me and trains.
To be honest, I'm probably didn't do that one first.
I'm surprised we didn't either, but yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it for this stream. I'd like to thank Chaos for helping me clean all the new stuff that got released.
This bucket clips through dirt.
Oh my gosh, we can like spray the bucket. I'd like to thank Link for joining in our conversations on pop culture and what have you.
Yep, no problem.
And I'd like to thank you guys for watching. And remember, the real magic you have is your imagination. And a lounging gnome! Look over here!
Oh, there's another gnome?
There's her hammock!
Well, time to rest and relax. Just me and Nomi.
Bye, everyone!
Bye-bye.